Hello, hello, hello. A very warm welcome to all our friends, viewers, fans of Africa Rise with Susan West, stakeholders. It is another beautiful Friday. And of course, I'm super excited because it's become the norm that we will broadcast every Friday and also on Sundays. And so, of course, welcome to Africa Rise with Susan West. Today, our special guest is the Aare Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land. I hope I pronounced that well. We're going to talk about the insecurities in Nigeria generally, particularly in the western part of Nigeria. The Yoruba-speaking people have been of late the recipients of the violence and unrest with the herdsmen in Nigeria. And so today, our conversation is going to be set on that premise of what it means for the Oduduwa nation. And so, as you join this broadcast, do the needful, which is create watch parties, invite your friends, and let's keep this running. Of course, in our usual manner, send in your questions, comments as you have them. We will do as much as we can to take your comments and questions. And so, if you haven't liked, followed, or subscribed to our channels, please do so. And as you can see scrolling on the screen, we have now changed the names because there are people who have complained they can't find us. So we've made it easy. So on YouTube, you'll now find Africa Rise TV. And on Instagram, it is africarise.tv as well. It's scrolling down there. So please share, invite your friends and join in on this conversation. Before we bring on our guests, we'll take a commercial break.
It's been a great pleasure being on Africa Rise and the fact that you focus on African problems, African issues. And I would urge you to continue. And I hope that more and more people will pay attention to the leaders that you bring to speak on Africa Rise, and that this will translate into some change for the better for our continent. Congratulations.
Okay! This is your numero uno. My name is Charlie Boy, the area father. You're the very one of Africa and the president of all frustrated Nigerians. Keep it real with Susan West. Yes, this is the channel where they like to watch when I won't get sent. You know?
Africa Rise with Susan West.
Welcome back. And so in earnest, I'm going to bring on screen our guest for today. He is the Aare Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Chief Gani.
Good evening, Susan. How are you?
Very well, thank you, sir. Very well. I'm glad that you could make it. Thank you for giving us your time, honoring us with your time. And so quickly, on to today's conversation, which is the topic of discussion today, which is the has to do with the Fulani herdsmen's attack on Yoruba land and the recent activities, unrest that have been going on. So far, so good. A lot of people are aware that this has been brought to the forefront because of the actions of one man who is Sunday Igboho. And so for that reason, we know that there is no better person to talk to on this issue than the Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land. So I want to quickly go ahead and ask you how you feel about what is going on as the commandant general of the Yoruba nation, army of the Yoruba nation.
Well, the commandant general of traditional army of Yoruba nation is being called Aare Ona Kakanfo. Tradition. You know, when you are talking, you have to take cognizance that it's a sovereignty on ground. We have the Nigerian Army, we have the Air Force, we have the Navy on ground. So in order not to cause confusion to the international community, Aare Ona Kakanfo is a traditional generalissimo of Yoruba land. It's a traditional position. And based on history that have been existing since 1530, almost 500 years ago. And I was the number 15. That's why they call it 15th Aare Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land.
Right.
The issue of insecurity in Yoruba land is becoming worrisome, and is very alien to our own race, which we have never witnessed since the existence of the Yoruba nation for more than 10,000 years. We have been living peacefully, despite that we have our own issue, internal war within us, and some external war. But what happened within the period of 7 years was very strange to us. When we have some strange people coming from the north, we will call them the criminal Fulani herdsmen. Not every Fulani man is criminal. We have some Fulani people that have been living in Yoruba land for the past 100 years. And they have been living in peace and harmony. And they have integrated into our society. And even some of them married Yorubas, some Yoruba married them. But unfortunately, we saw some strange people that intrude to our society with violence, with kidnapping, with robbery, and even destroying our farmlands. And in the process, a lot of people were being killed and maimed. And if you monitor my statements and some of the action I have took on the issue of security, although it does not peculiar only, it does not even peculiar on only one tribe. The issue of kidnapping reflected some tribe within Lagos. I remember the issue of some Niger Delta that was kidnapping the Yoruba people in the Ikorodu Festac extension, that we collaborate with the Nigerian army to flush them out in our vicinity. I'm very close to the Niger Delta. Most of my friends are Niger Deltas. But when you have some criminal within the society, no any good society will absorb it and keep quiet and allow them to destroy the goodwill they have on the basis of business and peace and tranquility. But the issue of Fulani herdsmen was in the high side. The other tribe, we have resolved it, and some of their leaders have collaborated with us to even inform the security agencies, inform our traditional rulers, even our political leaders about some criminal within our midst that want to dent their image. So sanity within the range of 75 to 80% have been done on that. But they're talking of the Fulani herdsmen in most of our rural community, the situation is an ugly incident, and it's causing panic to the extent that our farmers is not willing to go to farm anymore. And you will see the cost of food is rising every day because the quantum of the people that are supposed to go into farming was not up to even 5% anymore. And for the past 5 years, Nigeria have been given a policy of diversification of economy, and federal government started preaching that we should go to agriculture. And Yoruba is very enlightened people. By the time they listen on what government is doing, they will key into it. Most of our Yoruba people on private initiative decided to go into farming and use their resources to build a business on agriculture. But unfortunately, some criminal Fulani herdsmen were frustrating them. Not only on the basis of business, on the basis of threat to life and property within their community, within the area they are doing that business. So that call for action, that call for emergency, because if you don't took the bull by the horn, the same thing will reflect, the same thing that happened in the Northeast and Northwest will reflect in Yoruba land. Although we are being in a stage of about 20 to 30% of what happened in the Northwest on the basis of bandits causing security threat in the Northwest. So that was one of the reasons we rise up. And the coming of Sunday Igboho is an intervention. It's an intervention from his own axis. Sunday Igboho came from Okeogun. It was a product of Igboho community. And Okeogun and Ibarapa were very close. They are the same senatorial district. And the people of Igogo and Ibarapa called him that he should come and assist them because they were helpless. The law enforcement agents are not doing the needful to make sure they apprehend this criminal and took them to court of law. By the time you do not allow the rule of law to enshrine on criminal, definitely the people who have a good way may take law into their hand. That's why it is very, very important that a government should not allow criminal to act on the basis of impunity. And that was what led to the uprising of the issue of Sunday Igboho, warning the Seriki that now led to the ultimatum. That was my own position about it.
Right. You know, there are people who have criticized Sunday Igboho, Igboho's approach as being too confrontational. But of course, like you said, you don't want what has happened in the Northeast to repeat itself in Yoruba, in Yoruba land. But all the footprints and the pointers are there that if something is not done about it, that it will definitely get to the point where the Yoruba land is also going to be faced with the reality that the Northeast have to deal with. So in that regard, how would you say, does Sunday Igboho have your blessings? And what would you say to the Yoruba people who are not in agreement with his approach?
The issue of having my blessing did not even arise. The issue of not having my blessing did not even arise. Ordinarily, the last time, I've said it in many interviews, because I realized that some people are looking for the approach and the determination of Sunday Igboho to lay hands on me. But I always clear issues when I'm talking. I'm a truthful person, and you don't see me saying anything. Anything I say in this interview, go and investigate it in another 7-10 years. You will know that it's true. It's true, nothing but the truth. The last time I saw him was 2013 in a social party. And the last time we spoke was October. But when the ships are down, it lies with the confrontation of managing that issue by the Yoruba leaders. As one of the products of Yoruba leaders, one of the key leaders in Yoruba land, and somebody who is a generalism of Yoruba land. When you see your young man coming, being active in his own axis, and what he done was an interest of his own people, because you can't gauge everything on the basis of law. Although I will be the last person that will encourage somebody to take law into their hand. But at the same time, a security agency who did not dissuade a criminal for taking law into their hand may encourage a security man who want to defend his people on the basis of taking law into their hand. It's vis-a-vis. This issue is very clear. When the security agency do their job very well, there won't be a room for anybody to take law into their hand. But when your environment is about to jump into a banana republic, definitely you have to act. And go and trace the history of most of the African countries. That was how civil war started. That was how civil war started. When the central government is not in control, when the central government is not ready to punish those who break the law, and certain group will come out and say, we can do the same thing if you are not ready to punish those who break the law, those who take law into their hand. The highest offense on earth is to kill an innocent person when there is no war. That's the highest, even in Nigerian constitution. And I know majority of the country in the world, their constitution dissuade people to kill. And a penalty to that always be a steep penalty on it. But in a situation that more than 30, 70 people was killed in that area, no single soul, no single person was taken to the court of law by the law enforcement agent and jailed them. Definitely, certain people will rise up and say, we want to defend ourselves. If you are not ready to defend us as a law enforcement agent, we will rise up to defend ourselves. And that lies to my own side. I reside in Lagos. I have a structure of OPC that cover everywhere, including Kogi and Kwara. Even last 2 weeks, in Lagos, in Ilesha to Akure, some Yoruba people were going to the north on bus. They were apprehended by kidnappers. It took about 9 of them to the bush. It was as a result of effort of my own group, OPC, Vigilante, Amotekun, and the police that rescued them. And we now even realize that those who connive with them on this criminal incident, there are some Yoruba people that connive with them. We realize that those who took food to the forest from the kidnappers, they are Yoruba people. Likewise, even in Okeogun, I got a wind of that when the issue of a scenario of a national park happened in about 4 months ago or 5 months ago, which I raised an alarm. I raised an alarm that the criminal have already taken over Oyo National Park, which is the national federal reserve, forest reserve in federal level. I raised the alarm and I control the OPC, Vigilante, and the hunters to move immediately the second day. They got there on Friday. The Nigerian army did not allow them. After Saturday, the Nigerian army left there. They moved into the forest and they flogged them. Now the reserve forest in Kishinev is becoming a peaceful atmosphere now. But before we took that action, do you know how many people that was being kidnapped in that area? They kidnapped them in Shaki, they kidnapped them in Tede, they kidnapped them in Aguare, they kidnapped them in Ishi and Irawo. And a commoners, a grassroots people that not even have up to 10,000 in account. When they kidnap them, their family will going to go and borrow money like 1.5 million to get their freedom in captive. So that was what led to the annoyance of the people of that Azi that Sunday Igboho, you are a resident, you are indigene of Igboho, and we know that you're a strong man that you can assist us in Igogo. And he went there. That was the beginning and the end of what happened in Igogo. It's not as if that anybody sat with him, agree with him to take that shot. By and large, as the Aare Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land, anybody that assists in the issue of security, I will be the last person that will go against that person. We can support him, and later we can call him that there always be a process to everything. But in a situation, you discourage him in earlier on, you will see the attack of the Yoruba people. And you will even see the attack of the genuine Nigerian people who want peace and tranquility in Nigeria. So even though the issue of taking law into his hand happened within some people that is bringing legal issue to this issue. Those who did not bring legal issue when our people was being killed, those who did not quote constitution when a lot of Yoruba people were being killed, not only in Oyo State. Yoruba people have lost nothing less than 5 billion by paying to ransom on kidnappers. Paying ransom on kidnappers. And in our unconfirmed report, more than 300 people were being killed. And you know, it's a very peaceful people that believe that let me live my life, let me do my business, socialize, being religious, coordinate myself with some clubs, and send my children to a very good, give my children a very good education so that they can prosper. But any single threat to Yoruba land, they will raise alarm, the global village will pay attention to it. We can't afford to witness 10 to 15% of what is happening in Northeast and Northwest. Yoruba can never afford to even see up to that. So what happened go beyond the issue of law, although there is a conventional government on ground. Now the issue have arisen. The damage control is being done within the government. The sixth governor met with the governor forum, and they sit down, they map a strategy, and they ban open grazing. If the issue of Ondo State governor who want to beat the criminal in the criminal Fulani in the national in the forest, which is the national forest that somebody must not live inside. If that thing is not happening, including what happened within the axis of Sunday Igboho, the governor will not take that action. And there won't be a memorandum of agreement of content that is being laid down by the government, and the Meyati Allah signed agreement on the basis of having peace in the entire Yoruba land. Thing leads to another. So one thing that leads to another, even though it's wrong, tactically wrong, it's not yet time to shift the blame. The wrong side that happened today, we can make sure that we correct it in the future so that we can have prosperous nation called Nigeria.
Right. You know, they say justice is blind, but justice is something.
How are you?
They say justice is blind, but justice and equity is something that is far from being achieved in today's Nigeria. I'm going to take quick reads of comments and acknowledge some people. Princess Ivy from Canada, thank you. Rahina Bello, thank you. Jibril Intai from Abuja, thank you. WSR1 TV, you're welcome. Tito Akbeti, I want to take a comment from Tito Akbeti first. He asked, he said, does Afenifere have a stance on cohabitation with Fulanis?
I don't think so. Afenifere have the interest of Yoruba land at heart. Anything that will affect Yoruba land, Afenifere is one of the first or second organization that will react on it. And they have been in existence since 1948. So they believe in one Nigeria based on true federalism. That does not mean that the question that the lady has friction on the way of operation of Afenifere. But they have the interest of the Yoruba land at heart, and they have been doing well. This is a group that was formed by Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Baba Adekunle Ajasin, either in 1947 or 1948. And they continue to be relevant because they did not betray the cause of the Yoruba people.
Right. Benga Daniel Jr. says, Your Royal Highness, may you reign forever in good health and in wealth. We hear 24/7 of your contributions to the view of reinstating democracy for all in Nigeria. You are a unique Royal Highness in Nigeria. That is what Benga Daniel has to say, which is a compliment. And I go to taking Joy Anthony says, exactly, lawlessness, anarchy looming. The central is weak. They are after dormant accounts while the citizens are being suffocated by hoodlums. Sad. I'm going to ask, from the way the federal government have handled this Fulani herdsmen issue, we do know that not all Fulani people are criminals or are herdsmen. We agree. I have friends who are Fulanis and they are wonderful people. So of course, I'm not comfortable always trying to blanket every Fulani person like that. But this situation haven't started from the Yoruba land. It started a long time ago, apart from in the Northeast. It's something that the Benue people had to face. The Agatu people had to face this. Southern Kaduna had to suffer this. Then it went on to the eastern part of Nigeria, where the entire people there have been crying out. Unfortunately, the elites in the east have not been strong enough or eloquent enough or to stand with their people who have been crying in a situation where suddenly it's become more prevalent because of what Sunday Igboho has done. It's become more, it's come to the limelight that this is also going on in Yoruba land. I want to ask though, as the as the Aare Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land, were you too mindful of the federal government and the high-handedness with anything to do with the herdsmen? Why did Sunday Igboho had to come on the space before we started really hearing about the actions from the elites of the Yorubas?
Well, I think the federal government was doing little to dissuade the Fulani herdsmen, criminal, let me say criminal Fulani herdsmen from criminality. They are still doing little, not enough. Because the way Meatiala bragged, the Association of Cattle Rearer, they brag to the extent they inform us that they have structure in the entire West African coast, which Yoruba even have their existence more than any tribe within the West Africa on the basis of having their people descendant in different countries in West Africa. But the federal government is doing a little to discourage them from criminals. Although we realize that the government is being overwhelmed by the issue of insecurity. They are battling many. They are battling many issues on the issue of security. We are talking of Northwest, which always been a peaceful region. Sokoto always be a peaceful region. Kano always be a peaceful region. Even Katsina, I've been in Katsina twice. It always be a peaceful region. But now it's an eyesore based on bandits, kidnapping, a lot of ugly things happening there. Northeast have been blacklisted. When you are talking of Yobe, Borno, and some state in the Northeast as a Boko Haram infiltrated region. And North Central too, there's a lot happening there. When you see there is peace today, there is crisis tomorrow. And Kaduna, the issue of Southern Kaduna have been a global scene that many lives, or if not up to 1,000 lives have been lost in the Kaduna state, especially the Southern Kaduna. So coming to the issue of Niger Delta and even Southeast, the issue of kidnapping within their own people too is a lot of issues and robbery. And Southwest too, when the issue of Fulani herdsmen now come to our own side. We in the olden days when we are in the school, the only place you can see court is the four corner of the tertiary institution, not outside the compound of tertiary institution. Now in Yoruba land, if organizer, a mechanic, a carpenter, they are caught in different courts association. So that overheats criminal activities in our region. Because when we are talking of criminal herdsmen, the way with the report I'm having in my disposal, their activities as criminal is just about the 60%. Our people contribute their own on the level of criminal issues. Ikorodu is another place that these courts have taken over almost daily basis to kill people in Ikorodu. And even some part of Ogun State, which is Remo and Ijebu, if not because of the commissioner of police of Ogun State was so radical, was so mean, and he collaborated with the OPC in Ogun State. That was what reduced the activities of these criminal courts in that area. And some part of Lagos State and other states in Yoruba land. So what we have on ground on security threat is not only the Fulani herdsmen. And I always differentiate it when I grant an interview. Not every Fulani are criminals. Not every Hausa Fulani are criminals. We have some few of them who are involved in criminal activities that can affect the image of the entire Fulani. And that was one of the reasons I was not happy with the statement of the Arewa Consultative Forum, the apex body of the sociocultural group in the North, by supporting the criminality on the basis of what happened between Sunday Igboho and the Fulani in Nigogo. Because if it is Afenifere, a parent organization in Yoruba land, when you do wrong thing, instead of Afenifere to support you, they will keep quiet. When you do a right thing, they will hate you. they will never support any injustice. And I've never read in any newspaper or got any information that Yoruba in the north cause threats within all the 3 regions in the north. Even in the southeast and south, Yoruba always be a law-abiding citizen anywhere they live. That does not mean that we don't have some criminal Yorubas in that area. But when we are talking of a larger criminal activities, Yoruba always comport themselves. And they respect the culture, tradition, and the norms of anywhere they are going. They are living. They are residing in it. I remember vividly when I went to Katsina. The Yoruba in Katsina, you can't even notice that they are Yoruba again. They have, in everything they do, they behave like the host community. They won't threaten the host community. They won't cause a problem for the host community. And they respect their emir in that area. The emir install any Oba of Yoruba in the north. But here, our Oba did not install Seriki. You can see the difference. Our Oba will not install Seriki. They install their Seriki. They run a parallel traditional institution. Although our government did not recognize them, they run a parallel traditional institution, which is not okay. When you want to live together, you must not behave as if other tribes are being inferior to you. You should not behave as if you are number one important ethnic nationalities within the country. That creates more problem. That creates suspicious. That creates disunity. That creates a situation that the interest people we have with one Nigeria will be diluted gradually. So I will appeal to the emirs, and I will appeal to the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and I will appeal to the head of all our security agencies that they should do justice on the issue of insecurity in our nation. Anywhere in the region, not only in Yoruba land. And if they do that, another Sunday Igboho will not come out in another area. People compare that I already know how like Sunday Igboho. When we started our struggle, we have done more than that. But the more you grow in the struggle, you'll be more coordinated, you have more contact, you have more influence, and you have more voice. And you are well coordinated, and you have to consult. This is a position my predecessor was the pillar of sport in Africa. This is a position that is one of the richest person in Africa. This is a position he won an election. He won an election in 1993, as a presumed winner, and he died for this democracy we're enjoying. And don't forget, this is a position that he was killed in 1960 as a premier of Western region. So ordinary person will not become Aare Ona Kakanfo, even though anything that will come must not come directly from Aare. But in a situation, even though the wrong part of it, Aare will not tell you that it's wrong in the public every time. After you talk, he can call a meeting and resolve it that don't do it like this, don't do it like this, don't do it like this. We are not being trained to be condemning ourselves in public every time. Absolutely. Even though you are wrong, to be condemning ourselves in the public. Right. We have our own shortcoming as a race. But we will use our wisdom to resolve it when we are in the room together. That you don't do it like this, you don't do it like this, you don't do it like this. But some people rate politics more than security. If there is no safe, if you are not safe, your life is not safe, you are not property. If your property is not safe, you can't have a good atmosphere to play politics.
Absolutely. You just said something. You talked about some people rating politics over security. That brings me to asking about some of the elites in Yoruba land, people like Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the big boys who are supposed to have come out and voiced certain things and corrected certain things. At least, a stitch in time, they say, saves 9. But these people are quiet about these things because it's for them, it's about their politics and their political future much more than the security of lives and property of their people. I'm going to quickly take a short read. WSR1 TV says, a tree never hits an automobile except in self-defense. I concur with Chief Gani Adams. Sunday Igboho did the needful, which is he's in agreement with you. And I have Tito Akpeti says, Aare, your comments show that you are a unifying factor in the scheme of things in Yoruba land. Highly commendable. And I want to ask you, I did listen to one of your interviews, and you talked about the Nigerian constitution being satanic or demonic. Why did you say that? And what part of the constitution do you think is satanic?
Well, when you are talking of constitution, it's a document that guides every citizen of that nation. And if you want to write a constitution, you have to, through maybe an election or through different means, you contact the opinion leaders, leader of thought of that country together to write a constitution. We ask ourselves a question. The 1999 constitution was being written by the people. It was written by 26 people of army occupation in the government of the Abdul Salam. Military wrote that constitution, and there was a lot of lacunas. There was a lot of confusions in that constitution. I have knowledge about it when we got to the national conference in 2014. I couldn't, because they gave us that constitution. That was a break. We break it down. We realize that we are in problem in this country with this document, because the only thing that can guide you on is constitution. The only thing that can give you peace and tranquility is constitution. The only thing that can give you adequate policy is constitution. The only thing that can build a very good structure that there will be justice and equity. And justice, equity, fairness is constitution. But the Nigerian constitution is over-centralized constitution. And the Nigerian constitution, 1999 constitution, is not a federalist constitution, so to say, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Is completely unitary content of constitution. A country of population of about 200 million with more than 250 ethnic nationalities can never run that constitution with a nation and have peace. Can never run that constitution with a nation to move forward. Can never run that constitution with a nation and have a very good security. Now, in that constitution, it empowers only one structure of police, federal police. In that constitution, even though a state is more bigger in the population, you can't create a local government. In that constitution, they wrote it that the governor is the chief security officer of that state. And the governor did not even have his own police, and he doesn't have final say on commissioner of police under his state. The commissioner of police sworn an oath to the IG. If the governor say A, if the IG say B, the commissioner of police will listen to the IG. So a lot of controversial in that constitution. And when you see our budget, when you see the way they share money, the federal government in the sharing formula is about 55%. The states and local government share only 45%. And everything on governance, most of the thing on governance, not everything, most of the thing on governance, most of the thing on development, most of the thing on security is local. It's local. The issue of security is local. Every crime is being committed in one local government, in a community under local government, and a local government under a state governor. So, and you bundle a lot of responsibility in exclusive to the concurrent list, which is the state, having less power. The residual list, which is the local government, have no more power. The local government chairman have been turned to the puppet of the governor. When the state government and the local government have a joint account. When the money is coming to the governor, The governor will just put hand in the allocation of the local government, pays the salary of the workers in the council, and give them running costs of 5 million naira. That's approximately maybe 15 million or 20 million out of 150 million given to a local government. And the state government was doing that because they didn't have more resources. The allocation given to them, maybe they thought it's not enough. Much of the money is in federal level. The federal government now create a parastatus of about 400 parastatals. It's wasteful. 400 parastatals, about 42 or 43 ministry. It's wasteful. When we called our government a federal government, when we have to operate on the basis of true federalism, we borrow this constitution. We borrow it from the United States of America. I read autobiography of Joseph Wire. The autobiography of Joseph Wire, I read it in 1979. He said they went to US to spend 3 weeks to study their system, and they emulate the constitution of the United States of America. But when Nigeria took that system to Nigeria, they changed it to unitary system of government. The governor, the America have 50 states. The governor in a state in America is even more powerful than the vice president of United States. And in United States, every state have the local courts, lower courts. They have the state high court. They have the appeal court, and they have the Supreme Court in every state. And they now have a federal Supreme Court. They have a counting police. They have the state police. They have sheriffs, and they have the federal police, FBI, and they have CIA, like our SSS. You can see the structure of police. If one did not hardware, one will hardware. Sometimes when you don't have too much of friend, you may not be more lucrative. But because if friend A did not perform very well, B will perform very well, C will perform very well, D will perform, and D will perform, and E will perform very well. So when you have one central police, definitely with the population we have, they may not have the opportunity to perform very well. And the governor, as a chief security officer, supposed to have his own police, the state police. The local government is supposed to have their local government police, because all the criminals, the local people knows them. They reside with them. They know their history. They know their family. So the local government police, we have the opportunity, even without carrying arms, to dictate the criminal within their locality and their local government. And the state government will complement the effort of the local government. The issue of murder, the issue of robbery is a state issue in judiciary, but federal police prosecute it. It's supposed to be the job of the state police. And even the region, we're supposed to have a region. When a child fall, he look at the front. But when an elder fall, he look at the back. When we have a country that we are in the stage of confusion, our economic is in the stage of comatose. We are having security threats everywhere. Nepotism of the highest order have been in our country. We have to trace our back. What's wrong with us? What fell on us? What is the problem we have? We go and check our history, how we got independent in 1960. 1963 Constitution is one of the best constitutions that can work for Nigeria. In 1963 Constitution reflected and stipulated that every region should develop at their own pace. And at the end of the day, each region should contribute like 20 or 25% of what they generate to federal government. They thought when we have a true federalism, federal government will not have more power. They will still have power. Because if all the region give 25% of what they generate in their region to federal, the federal will have more resources. And what they will spend that money for will be limited. Because I don't see what the federal government is doing with Ministry of Agriculture. What is the federal government doing with Ministry of Water Resources? What is the federal government doing with Ministry of Women Affairs? All these ministries should supposed to be a regional or state ministry. The major job is for federal government to monitor internal issue within the region, state, and local government, and our external issue. Our external affair and an issue of federal police, SSS, Civil Defense Corps, Nigeria Army, Nigeria Air Force and the Nigerian Navy. So the blame people are casting to Buhari now will be reduced because most of the damages is being even done by the governor and the local government. And people did not even see the wrong thing the governor are doing and the local government. They lay emphasis that anything that is wrong with Nigeria is Buhari, is the federal government. And the money of Federal Republic is not even being shared by only Buhari. The corruption that is going in some state is worse than what is going in the federal. But
Right.
when you have people that put all the load on their head, the blame they're supposed not to get, they will be getting it from the people because some people are so novice about what is happening. It's only people that are political minded, are political conscious that will know that this governor has their own fault, the local government chairman have their own fault. Some local government chairman, when they got the allocation from the governor, they will leave the office for a period of 3 weeks. They go to Abuja or Lagos or they go to Dubai because the money they are giving to them is not the money they are earning from the federal allocation.
Right. Right. Real quickly, I want to ask you how robust is the Amotekun? There are people who have come out to criticize, especially now, that Amotekun was set up for this reason to protect the Yoruba people. Yet Amotekun is more Amotekun is in the city, in the urban areas, instead of in the bushes, in the forest, where the real crimes with the herdsmen happen.
The critics of Amotekun is either criminal or political motivated. And this is an outfit that just established by law last year. The operation is not even up to, some states haven't started their operation. Like Ogun State, they are still in the stage of recruitment. The Oyo State was just early December last year. The Ekiti State, they just started their operation too, maybe ending of November. The Ondo State are just trying to find their footprint because the government just an election. So how can anybody just put in blame on an outfit that is not even up to 1 year? There is no security organization that is perfect because the rank and file that are recruited in that, not all of them, you can discover they are good people initially. If they made a mistake, don't make this a media issue earlier because they have done a lot of advantage. Within the short period, they have done a lot of sanity in their state and which media did not publish. Mm. But the political opponent of the governor used the opportunity of one mistake of a cop and blow it out of context in the media to tarnish the image of the governor. You know, Yoruba politicizes everything. Isba have been in the north, in 13 states, since 2002 or 3, they founded Isba. They have been running quietly. And some of their cop made a mistake. You will see outside of Fulani people blowing that of content. But in Yoruba land, everything is being politicized. A good example, in 2014 or 15, that we have been given a security of the pipeline. You know what Yoruba did? This job has been given to many Niger Delta people. And they have been doing it to empower their people, securing our commonwealth, which is oil. The bunker stole more than 70% of the oil, of the petroleum or diesel coming from Atlasco. And the NNPC, on their wisdom, now notice that the only group that can help them is to give the security to officers. Do you know what they did to us? They turn it to propaganda. They now calculate all the contract of 6 companies in the old zones. They took it together. They now say Gani Adams get all the money. They started media attack. They politicized this. At the end of the day, we finished that job within the 3 months. And they gave us only 30% of the money. And you know, if we get this money, how the money will be circulated to many sons and daughters of Yoruba land that will even assist our economy. But our politicians come in calculated attempt to disrupt the image of the organization that is even assisting federal government to protect the commonwealth. Now, a lot of our oil have been stolen now. Our economic is in a stage of comatose. We keep on borrowing to support our budget every time. By every two months, our government will look for money to borrow in China. Our government will look for money to borrow in World Bank. Our government will look for a way to borrow money in Brazil, because we politicize everything. That's lies on Amateku. When I saw the media attack coming on the mistake of one of the cops in Amateku, I noticed that this is what they done to us. I moved immediately. It's not because I'm not a consultant for Amateku, but I realized that stage we have, if we want to secure Southwest conventionally, we have to agree with the governor by establishing Amateku on the basis of law. They have signed it to law. We can back them. Amateku can do certain sanity on our security. If not 100%, at least if they achieve 60% of the success, we are still having certain peace, relative peace in our region. But everything that happened in Yoruba land, they politicize it. Two people.
Right.
Political establishment and the criminals.
Right.
And they pay any amount to the media to dent the image of that. That's Yoruba is so perfect on it. But the hand of them always became worse, because our ancestors always judge anybody who betray our cause.
Right. I'm going to take quick reads, and I'll ask my final questions for today. Princess Ivy Osawe says 1999 Constitution is evil to Nigeria citizens and more profitable to the politicians. Otumba Benga Daniel Jr. says, Your Royal Highness, listen to all your wise and incredible political opinions about management affairs of the government. It's pretty obvious you are a genius and will do exceptionally well playing active role advising Buhari. What do you think? And WSR1 TV says, bad men can't make good citizens. When people forget God, tyrants forge their chains. A corrupt public conscience is incompatible with freedom. A firm adherence to justice, moderation is of necessity. And of course, Benga Daniel is asking, what do you think about becoming an advisor to President Buhari? I also want to ask, just today, it's on the news about attacks of houses and burning houses and cars in Ibadan. This is something that is not going away anytime soon. As the Aare Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land, how, in your opinion, do you think that actually coming to the table and talking with these people is going to get Nigeria to a place where we finally achieve some kind of decorum and understanding? For instance, I come from the Ijaw-speaking part of Nigeria as a Rivers person. I know that the waters have been polluted by oil spillage and all that. But the fishermen from my area don't carry their load and go to the north, say for instance Argungu, to say they're going to go and start fishing there, because the people there will not allow them, even though they are Nigerians. So should we keep accepting? Are we going to then accept that because Fulani herdsmen want to run their businesses and they run it in such a way that they don't care if they destroy other people's livelihoods in going into their lands and eating up their crops and then raping and killing the women? Are we at a place where we must, if we don't do according to what the Miyetti Allah, the federal government is pleased with, that we can't find peace? And if we don't get to that point, what, in your opinion, will be the solution for Nigeria at large?
Well, let me start from the issue of Ibadan. When a federal election is coming, 2 years to the federal election, you prepare for the worst in Nigeria. Nigeria have not rethink on bad belle politics. A country that their political figure have turned politics into business. Definitely, many criminal activities will come out from Nigerian politics. Even the issue of Sunday Igboho was highly politicized. It got to a stage that some cyber warrior of certain politicians started creating perception that Sunday Igboho is supposed to be Aare. Aare is not active again. Aare is not doing their job. That's a word coming from 2023 products. They want to use everything that happened to discredit people, personality or destroy. And I haven't read the content of what happened in Ibadan, but I smell an heart of violence towards 2023. And I smell a heart of violence in the election of governor in 2020, not only federal as a president. But how we advise our people that they have to be very careful. Anything that happened today will be an history in future. You may be doing things on the basis of impunity. You believe you have the power of the people, you have the support of people are being in the federal government or in the state level. That anything you do, the police will not arrest you. But certain people will record it at mind. They will now write book on you. They will now form their opinion on you. When you thought you are in the stage that you want to enjoy your good way, by then you could have born your good way when you are so younger, very active in politics. So I believe most of the things that will happen now, it will reflect on politics because our political atmosphere is very, very lucrative now. Those who have money in Nigeria now, those we can call a multi-billionaire in Nigeria now, they are politicians. And some few contractors, our entrepreneurial, which is our investors, they are not even making more money like the way politician is making money. Even the parliament, our parliament that they make a minimum money now, they have their own way to harass the ministers through the committee to get a very big contract. When a rep member is thinking of taking more than 1 billion to 2 billion out of reps within 4 years. And after one tenure as a rep, he is thinking to be a governor in his own state. Not talking of the 109 members of the Senate, distinguished senator, who want to be a billionaire within 3 or 4 years on his own tenure as a Senate. So the level of corruption in our society have made politics more lucrative. Now we now have many mafias in our politics. And when you have too much of mafias in anything you are doing, it's leading to a destruction. That's my fear. It's leading to destruction. And we were thinking that we can reduce this ugly incident by changing this satanic constitution, by restructure Nigeria as a country. No matter how much you spend on a house you are living, if you don't build it in a very good structure, you can't enjoy that house. So we believe that we can change this structure to regionalism. Majority of our people in diaspora want Odua Republic, which too I believe in it. But in the situation, most of our establishment in Lagos, in Yoruba land, still believe in Nigeria. But if you believe in Nigeria, let's have a region. I have a sample opinion of many of them. And I saw the body language of many of them. They still believe in Nigeria. But we have a lot of them that they believe in Nigeria on true federalism. Because they know that the issue of secession, they thought the issue of secession can lead to war. And by leading to war, Yoruba always said that Oju apa oni dabi oju ara. The way body is, when they hit you, it will be different when they don't hit you. But notwithstanding, we believe that we can solve the problem on the basis of having region. The way our political leaders, like a Western region, the Western region of 1954 to 1959. Do you know the Western region borrow Nigeria federal government money when they are in Western region? Do you know the embassy we are using in UK was the Western region house when we have a Western region? Do you know most of the structure that federal government took over now is Western region structure by then? And by then, we give a seed to the Malaysia, Pankane seed to Malaysia. In 1957, they took the seed. We followed them with an expatriate to teach them how they plant it, producing nation. The Malaysia palm oil is just like a crude oil we have in Nigeria today. And Yoruba land, the Western region was the one that taught them. And ask the Western region now, the Yoruba land, do we have a very good palm kernel oil now in Yoruba land? We lost our grip on cocoa producing. We are the highest cocoa producer in Africa, even in the world, in the 50s and the 60s. But Ghana and Ivory Coast have took over from us because of the bad policy from Ministry of Agriculture in 1986. So a lot of things is being destroyed because of simple thing. A lot of things is being destroyed because of simple thing, because we refuse to go back to true federalism. And you can imagine how many lives that was being lost now on the issue of insecurity. What of the economic situation? About 80% of Nigeria cannot have 3 square men again.
Yeah.
And an idle hand is a devil workshop. When you don't have job, you don't have food, you'll be talking about criminality. You'll be looking for a way to survive. And the kind of integrity our young lady had before is no more because they want to survive. And the kind of integrity the young man had before is no more because they want to survive. So for us to still remain as a nation, if you don't want this country to break, I'm saying if you don't want this country to break, we have to go back to true federalism. You are from Ijo people. You say you are from Ijo.
Yes.
I have a lot of friends who are Ijo and Niger Delta people. Do you know the duration that this oil will still last in the Niger Delta? They are extracting this oil about 2.5 million barrels every day. And it has a duration. Duration of exploitation. And when they exploit this oil for the next 20 years, what will that region use to survive? And all their fish have been killed. They can't fish again in the water. It has been polluted. The environment has been seriously polluted. But with the little time that remains, let them develop their infrastructure. Let them build their tourism. Tourism is an economic sector that will last forever. There is no solid mineral that will last forever. It's only tourism. If you build a destination, you will just be maintaining it and refurbish it. And when you create a very good security environment, when you promote it in the global community, people will come and enjoy it and pay their hard currency to your economy. They will sleep in hotel, in coming buying ticket, you have a percentage, in landing of the pay, you have a percentage. When they move as a tourist, they will shop, they will buy something and take it away to their country. And when they realize that it's a very good atmosphere, they now invest in that country. Or they brought an investor that the impression they were creating about Nigeria, I've been there as a tourist. My stay in that 1 week or 2 weeks changed my impression. Come and invest on agriculture, come and invest on their oil, come and invest on it. Tourism creates a lot of way. Dubai is a oil producing state before, but they opened their commercial tourism and recreation tourism. And India was a country they called third world before. India opened their medical tourism. And now India is a country that many people go for medical checkup now, and a lot of surgery. Saudi Arabia did not call Hajj a religion visit. They call it religion tourist. Even Israel, they call a pilgrimage a religion tourist. There is a religion tourist, there's an educational tourist, there is a sport tourism. The European Union will not toy with their competition, especially football. Sport tourism. You can imagine how much United Kingdom is making on advert on Man City, Chelsea, and Man U. Everybody follow them because of the sport tourism they lay priority to. And a lot of people are doing betting on it. They bet on it in Global Village. And
Absolutely.
you can imagine how much is making on sport tourism. Even there's an agricultural tourism. So we open our tourism space in every sectors. When you are talking of recreation, you build a school of music, you build a theater village. We have the resources. We can build a massive theater village for $2 billion that all over the world we come and learn about being an artist. They will come and act film, and that's what they call a nation. It will make your nation more popular. It will make your nation a new destination. But you can only achieve that when you have a very good security. You can only achieve that when you reorientate your people, because a lot of con man we dent the image by trying to 419 the tourism, by putting a very strong law that if you do that, you go to jail of 15 years, they will be discouraged. When you have a very good security, when you have a very good electricity, uninterrupted electricity, that the hotel cost will not be too high, because one of the things that kill our tourism is security and cost of the recreation area. And when you have the hotelier, they will inform you is because of they power their hotel on generators. So all these facilities must be on ground. The infrastructure have to be well perfectly built. The roads, the network, and the human relation to your foreigners. So all these things is very, very important. By doing that, we even forget about oil. Have we opened our own solid mineral sectors? Where is Ajakuta? Is that in there? Nigeria, there's no solid mineral that we don't have in our Nigerian soil. I visited the governor of Kano in about 15 years ago or 13 years ago. The former governor Shakra of Kano State. They give me a brochure that is a 33 solid mineral in Kano. And you thought the northern did not have anything. Nasarawa have 34 solid mineral. The Plateau State have about 27. Just for reason, the Zamfara opened their gold, 24 karat. And the governor is selling that gold. The federal government did not have power on it. And the oil in Nigeria is being taken away by the federal government. So a country that did not want justice will be causing threat for themselves every day.
Absolutely. And I know we've gone over the time we agreed, but Otumba Benga Daniel says, you haven't answered his question about becoming, what do you think about the role of becoming Buhari's advisor?
My brother Otumba Benga Daniel, I'm not thinking to be a politician now. Because my character will not suit their interests. I can't be in a meeting where you will be cooking lies. I can't be in a meeting that this is true, you won't say it. I will become their enemy. And I can't support a policy that will affect commoner. My spirit negates it. My spirit negates it. My background negates it. My character negates it. So the system that is going on in Nigeria, no good person who wants a better future for his own family, a good history, will join the carcass of politics. It's better you don't have much money, live a very good life, build a very good name, than to have a multi-billionaire, and in future, the Nigeria will ask you, you are one of the people that destroy us in so time. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Iba Gani Adams. Thank you for your time. God bless you. There's a lot of comments. I can't take all of them here because I have to let you go because I know you have other engagements. And so I will just say, just talk to Nigerians in short words, the Yoruba nation and Nigerians at large, how you want them, look, going forward, how you want them to think and what they should expect of the federal government.
Well, I think I'll talk to the federal government because the federal government is the leader of the nation. President Muhammadu Buhari is the father of the nation. I will appeal to the Mr. President and the people in the corridor of power and those who control the authority of this nation as quickly as possible to restructure Nigeria to true federalism. The way to success is very short when we can take the bull by the horn. The way to build a very good nation is very short when we can do the needful at the end of the day. So I will appeal to them to do justice about that. Because if we continue to be talking about the content that affect this country, the 7 content that affect this country devour to the issue of not doing true federalism. By doing true federalism, all the issues that affect the progress of this country, all the issue that is going to a state to sink this country will be resolved. So by having a true federalism, within a period of 10 years, we will have a peaceful nation, a prosperous nation, and we will correct the mindset of having a nepotism in our mind. The issue of tribalism we disappear within 4 years. We love ourselves back. Our passport will become goods. What we are witnessing in a point of entry, when they see Nigerian passport, they re-interview you as if you are still in the embassy because of the bad image our nation has. And by having a true federalism, every region will take care of their own problem. The federal government, as a federally structure, will take care of the major problem in the federal level. By then, we can have a vision. I'm not calling for a true federalism on statism. A statism will make some governor as an emperor. A statism will create more mafia in the state. For us to have a true federalism, if you don't call it a region, you can call it by a zonal constitution. You can call it a provinces. But having a state governor, from what we have experienced in Nigerian context of unitary system of government, statism, what we have experienced in Nigerian unitary system of government now, if we continue going on statism, it will affect the future of this country. We should go to a true federalism, either a regionalism or you call it a zonal arrangement. I think by then, we can have a prosperous nation within 10 years. Within 15 to 20 years, our mileage of development can be compared to most of the developed countries in the European Union.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Iba Gani Adams. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Susan.
There you have it. There you have it. This was packed full. Who knew this was coming from the Aare Ona Kakanfo? I have been so educated, informed. And so, of course, I agree with what the Iba Gani Adams have said. True federalism. He talked about whether calling it zonal, some kind of zonal governance or provincial governance, or, but what it takes is for us as a people to now understand what the dynamics of our society is as Nigeria and how to better allow, strengthen it to work for everybody. And of course, he had a message for President Muhammadu Buhari, and I do hope that that message gets to him and that he listens, that Nigerians are calling for equity and justice in the land. Without equity and justice, there will never be peace in Nigeria. And I am afraid that the land on which Nigeria stands is very sandy and shaky, and that the sooner we do the needful, the sooner we're brave enough to look at the problems in the face and proffer lasting solutions by bringing every single one of us, every stakeholder to the table and listen to each and every single one of us and take into cognizance what the issues are that we have raised. And of course, until then and then alone can we find a pathway to finally building a prosperous nation. whatever we might want to call it at that time. And so at this point, I just want to say a very big thank you to everybody who joined us. Twinkle Oruwariye, thank you. Benga Daniel Jr., thank you. Princess Ivy Osawe, you are superb. Don Kings Eze, welcome. And everybody else, if I haven't acknowledged you because you're watching from the watch party, please do bear. Diane Medway Smith, thank you. WSR1 TV, thank you very much. Ehis Ben, I acknowledge you. And of course, Mazino Dixon, thank you so very much. It's been such a brilliant broadcast today. And I look forward to seeing you on Sunday for another interesting episode of Africa Rise with Susan West. And of course, if you haven't liked, followed, or subscribed to our channels, please do so. We have now changed the name so that it's easy for you to remember. Okay, for those of you who keep inboxing me, on YouTube, it is now Africa Rise TV. On Instagram, it is africarise.tv. And of course, on Facebook, it's still Swab21. All right. Thank you so very much and continue to support us. Share this broadcast even after it is over, because this is information that should reach as many people as possible. I love you so very much. God bless you and see you on Sunday, same time. Bye-bye.